This mutation is called the Ultimate Price and is played on lock and load. We have 3 mutators active. We have Missile Command, we have Microtransactions, and we have Mineral Shields. So let's have a look at the masteries. While the player, singular, gets set up, we have 30 points in the Shield Overcharge Mastery, 30 points in the Warp Speed Increase Mastery, and 30 points into the initial Spirit of Dune Energy Mastery. Artanis has picked the Archship Commandant Prestige, so this is P3 Artanis, and this is obviously going to be a solo, no ally present right now, so let us see how he's going to end up clearing this mission. We have the 3 mutators, Missile Command, as you can see, missiles all around the map, spamming the enemy base, or the player's bases, and these things will target random player structures, and you can see they deal a good amount of damage, and very quickly you can end up losing the base if you are not paying attention. We have microtransactions, probably people's lesser preferred mutator here. People really do not enjoy playing up against this mutator. Every single time you issue commands to pretty much any unit, you will be charged resources to do so. And finally, we have the mineral shields. The mineral shields will start to appear on the mineral patches. You'll get 1 or 2 to start, and then it starts climbing up throughout the course of the mission, and there will also be a ping on the minimap when that happens, so you will be notified. And usually that requires you to build a little bit of static defense to try and deal with that, and some commanders do have some more creative ways of dealing with the mineral shields mutator, but that is there we go. So you can see those are the mineral shields present over here, 50 HP, and they will last for a certain amount of time, and they will actually block your workers from mining those mineral patches. Now, because this is a solo, one thing I want to talk about is commanders that are kind of favored on this mutation. Like Artanis is probably one of the worst commanders for this mutation, but commanders which can do a hero solo and clear the mission really quickly are favored on this mutation. So, if you're playing Stetman, or if you're playing Kerrigan, or if you're playing Zeratul, commanders with very powerful hero units do tend to do very well on this mutation. So the goal is to try and clear this mission as quickly as possible, because after the 20-minute, it's I think 12 or 15-minute mark, somewhere around that time. You can check out Starcraft2co.com for more details, but you're going to start getting those nuclear missiles spawning, and those nuclear missiles actually have point defense missiles with them, and that means that you're going to have a harder time to use projectile attacks, such as the Dragoon attacks, to clear out those missiles. So it's very, very helpful to have this mission cleared and ended before the thing gets too nasty. And a lot of commanders can rush this mission. This is a rushable mission, and now we have an observer that is just getting some vision, getting some detection over here, and I think eventually Archons are going to get dropped here once the attack wave has spawned. I think what Artanis wants to do here is he wants to use his Archons to clear out this area, and potentially might be able to clear out the other 2 areas as well. So again, some detection. Archon gets used over here, so we have 4 Archons here, and these Archons will clear out the first lock. And unfortunately, whenever these orbital strikes get used, the minimap is going to disappear, so my apologies for that. It's just how the mission triggers work in this game, so do bear that in mind. But yeah, the first lock has been captured, and you can see how effective Artanis is at capping these locks. Like, when I actually play this mission with P3 Artanis, I can clear this lock and this lock pretty much at the start of the game, and it's a really, really convenient feature, and that is something that's very, very handy for Artanis. Artanis P3 is so good at pushing into enemy bases, and especially when you have enemy bases that are not so heavily fortified, they actually tend to work really nicely. So 4 Archons getting used over here, and we have a solar bombardment, so all the enemy units that are getting aggroed by these Archons will just run right into the solar bombardment. Pretty much a perfect clear over here. There are a few more Void Rays here, but they're very easy to clear out as well. And this area is, there's still some photon cannons here, but Artanis can warp in some units here and pick that off as well. So he's going to be doing that at some point. There's an observer here now, just trying to get a little bit of vision. There is an overload here on the lock, and I do not know if Artanis wants to try and deal with that before the lock actually gets captured. It doesn't look like he's going to go and deal with that just yet, but this does happen. This is a change that was added to the AI some time ago when there was actually an Artanis Raynor cheese on this map. You can clear the map in about 4 minutes by just warping in a Zealot and dropping a Marine on the lock, and the AI would actually not aggro to the lock, and you can actually capture it just by jumping behind Amon's army, which is kind of funny. But it's actually been quite a long time since it's been fixed, so this is how the AI will behave right now. The Stalker is just going to be chilling here, but Artanis, not really too concerned. He's just working away on these rocks as well, just trying to improve his economy, because at some point he's going to have to do a little bit more of a solid push, I think, with maybe some more of his army units. But so far, seems to be okay. Some more of these guys also on patrol And these guys are just going to be dealing with the missile command mutator here. You can see the effect here. Those are the point defense missiles I was talking about earlier. They actually stop Artanis' army from being able to deal damage, and this is one of the issues. Is like Artanis, does Artanis have any non-projectile hit scan attacks? I don't think he does. I don't think any of his units can actually. I think the Immortals can, but they can't really hit air, so it doesn't really count. But yeah, Artanis is not very good against the missile command mutator because of that. So we have another observer here now to get vision. There's going to be another Archon drop at some point, and actually there might be another one Archon being dropped over here as well. So kind of interested to see what the plan is for Artanis. So there are a few Phoenixes here. These Phoenixes will end up dying very quickly, and again, over here, I think this seems to be okay as well. One thing Artanis has to be careful of, he does not have Guardian Shell, so he will have to kite back and make sure that he's not taking unnecessary damage on his army. And again, this point defense missile is being very, very annoying, blocking these Dragoon attacks. And you can see you can kind of overwhelm them, but you do need a lot of projectile attacks to clear the point defense drones, and they are really, really annoying. But Artanis' Dragoons now are going to be moving through. They're going to start pushing into this enemy base. I think Archons might also end up getting dropped over here. So there's a warping of Zealots from this little gateway here, in case you were wondering where those Zealots came from and why they were moving outside. There was a warping of Zealots from this little gateway here. So this production structure needs to be taken out if you don't want some issues. And now we have an Immortal over here that's going to pull in some more of these units. And now we have a shield overcharge that's getting used. And this shield overcharge will end up preventing some more of Artanis' army from dying. But you can see there's just a good amount of damage over here. This Immortal needs to be pulled back as well, because Amon will try and focus down the Immortal if he has a chance. But I think overall seems to be okay. The Dark Templar unsure which unit they want to attack, and that Immortal actually might end up surviving there. So very nicely handled by Artanis here. Just going to clear this out, and this is that lock completely cleared, and that lock is going to be captured right now by Artanis. So he's going to be moving up over here now, and he will be clearing out this next area. You see, just take a look at this point defense drone. This being so annoying. And Artanis is going to be moving in towards the southern side, taking it slowly. He has to make sure he's not pushing in too fast, otherwise he might end up losing his army, and that would be kind of bad. But we are closing in now at the 11 minute mark, so you're going to get these double pronged attack waves, and these things are this is the point in the mission where things can get a little bit tricky. So let's see how Artanis is going to go and deal with that. The attack wave on the right hand side is going to move in towards the eastern lock. This thing is going to move towards the central lock over here. There are Phoenixes here, and as long as there are no point defense missiles on the way, this should not be too terrible for Artanis. But he's going to be using a bunch of Archons here to intercept this attack wave, so that's actually really nicely handled. He's going to clear out this attack wave, and now we have a solar bombardment that gets used as well. All these enemy units now that are going to be moving into this area and trying to cap this lock will walk right into the solar bombardment, and they will end up dying. So very, very clever use of the solar bombardment here to just deal some damage to the Amon forces, as well as taking advantage of the AI on this map, which is, they will try and cap the lock, and he's actually gotten a lot of value for that. So that lock will be captured. Now Artanis just has to move into this area here. There are too many enemy units here. Yeah, it's a very nice use of the Archons here, and these 5 Archons now will start to clear out the rest of these enemy forces, and all that is left now is for Artanis to warp in a bunch of units over here, and he will be good to go. Now remember that there are a few enemy units here, not too many. A lot of them have been cleared by the solar bombardment earlier, so it should not be too difficult to handle. But Artanis does not have his Guardian Shell, so his units do not get that free invulnerability, but he does have his Archons. 5 Archons getting used over here. These Archons will end up killing off the rest of these enemy units, and we also have a shield overcharge here, just to provide a little bit of extra shields to Artanis' army, and that is going to be really, really nice as well. And I think that is the final lock captured. I think there is no other locks left on the map that need to be captured. Very quick rush with Artanis. As you can see, even though Artanis not particularly good against missile command and very, very mineral heavy as a commander, he does tend to work really well. So those are all the 5 locks captured, and that is GG.